Hey podcast, just before we get you to this episode, I wanted to invite you to join us at pageantlaunch.com. We are starting the world's first dedicated pageant review site, and we want you to join our launch team. All you need to do is put in your email address. It's completely free. We are looking to make the pageant industry safe, transparent, and fair, and we'd love your input on how to do that. So head over to pageantlaunch.com, whack in your email address, and let's get you to this episode.
Oh, hey everyone, it's Adrian. I was just trying to sneak in a quick drink of my coffee before we went live. Good evening and welcome to, this is Pageants and PJs number 29. I don't have a special guest lined up for us today because I didn't get around to it because I have been super busy with lots and lots of exciting stuff, but I'll get to that in a second. Obviously, I have these two lovely ladies with me. As usual, I'll skip across to Danielle first. And first off, Danielle, before you catch us up on your week, did you actually do your announcement? Because I know you were going to, but it was going to be 3 a.m. here. So, I don't know, can you walk me through it? Because I was asleep, so.
Yeah, so I've just posted up a video on my Instagram and on my Facebook page, my Ms. Galaxy UK 2020 page, basically announcing the challenge that I'm doing. Which is I'm going to take part in a three-peak challenge with my best friend. And we haven't picked a charity for it yet. So anyone that's watching, if you know of a small charity, we particularly wanted to go for a small charity, the one that doesn't really get much funding. So yeah, if anyone watching this has any small charities that they feel passionate about, please let us know because we're going through all the options right now. But yeah, so the announcement's gone live.
Oops. Oh, hello. I'm just seeing if we might as well play it since it's here. We don't have to get it.
It's a 5-minute video, Adrian. So
we've got to fill up the time with something. I mean, is it not entertaining?
Go for it.
Hello, my pageant family.
I
wanted to film a little video as an announcement for a challenge that I have.
Danielle's like, oh my god, cringe.
Over the years of competing in pageants, I have had plenty of time to.
I don't know. Let me know if you can hear this.
That I wanted to be if I was ever lucky enough to win a crown. Before I even entered Galaxy, I've always had a list of.
What are you laughing at, Laura?
Shall we say?
People can still hear you. Just so you know.
I would like to accomplish.
Maggie G just messaged me saying it's Adrian's voice, usually this deep.
To reflect on that list and start getting the cogs in motion in hitting some of those milestones. Now, you guys know that your girl loves adventure. I think the fleece is a bit of a hint to that. I have openly spoke about my ambitions to climb Everest Base Camp next year. So I was looking at challenges and this one had been on my list amongst others that have been on my list. And I figured, well, as soon as I'm climbing the biggest mountain in the world, I probably should start off with a few a little bit closer to home. I have a few friends that have completed this challenge and they've given me lots of words of wisdom and advice, mainly being don't do it, but it's too late. I've already paid my deposit. Myself and my best friends up there have, been planning this for a long, long time. And I can now announce that on the 19th of September, we will be attempting to climb the 3-peak challenge in 24 hours. For those that don't know what the 3-peak challenge is, it's basically you climb the 3 largest mountains in the United Kingdom. So we'll be starting off at Ben Nevis. That takes roughly 5 hours to climb. And then we have a 6-hour drive to Scafell Pike. That takes roughly 4 hours. And then we have a 4-hour drive. And then we complete Snowdon, which is another 5-hour hike. It's going to be a lot. Obviously, it's 24 hours. We won't be sleeping. We do get a 6-hour and a 4-hour drive that we can try and get some sleep in. But the 6-hour drive, that starts at like 1:30 in the afternoon. So, pray for our sleeping pattern. And of course, just in queenly fashion, I will be fundraising. It is a pretty big achievement, I like to think. It is a worthy challenge to raise a fair bit of money. So I haven't decided on which charity to support yet. I would love, love, love if you could comment below on what charities you think it should be. Me and Satya were discussing this. We'd love to do it for a smaller one where we can see with our own eyes and go there and visit and see what the money is doing. Maybe one that doesn't get any like government funding or much support. So if you know of one that really needs some support, we would love, love, love to help. I obviously wanted to tell all you about this because I would love for you to get involved. I will be documenting the entire journey. We're going to need your support. So we would like to have a little bit of interaction wherever we can. It's obviously very dangerous to type and hike. So I will probably be updating socials during the car rides, any lunch breaks, breakfast breaks, anything that we get along the way to kind of stop. And I'll be recording and just trying to get everyone on board as much as possible. We're going to try and come up with some games that we can play. I'm going to try and maybe see if there could be any giveaways. All that good stuff to be coming soon. Obviously, we are not climbing this until September. So fingers crossed, we'll all be out of lockdown. We'll all be in a much better place. So that is it. That is my announcement. I really, really hope that you either donate once I figured out what charity we're going to be supporting, and that you get involved and give us some cheers, because your energy is going to be what gets us through it, because it is a pretty gnarly challenge. I'm not going to lie. I want to do as much as I can with this title, so which I don't even have my sash on. Let me go put my sash on.
Good
There
job.
we go. Here's the whole kit and caboodle.
Raw and real.
Always
So
forget.
I mean, I don't know if the crown will be able to make it up these mountains, because wow, that is extra weight in my backpack. But the sash will definitely be coming with me. Thank you so much for watching this video. Obviously, you know that your girl loves a challenge. So if you know of any challenges that are a little bit similar to this, ones that you think that I might be able to do during my reign, obviously I want to do as much as I can as Ms. Galaxy UK. So if you have a particular challenge that you'd like to see me do, please let me know below what you'd like me to do. But thank you so much for watching, and have a lovely, lovely day.
Mate, that's so cringy to watch, and I had to edit that as well. You know how it's so cringy editing yourself.
When you become a content creator, as you are now, Danielle, you very quickly, first you go through that stage of, oh my God, do I actually look like that? Do I actually sound like that? And after, you know, after about 50 times, 100 times, you just kind of go, whatever, it's my, and for everyone saying that, like, I don't, this is, Megan's talking about my voice, by the way, just to give context to that comment. I'm not trying to, I'm wondering if it's a microphone issue or something. I am.
Yeah, it sounds
really,
so deep.
You sound really
You're
deep.
like literally like.
Okay, I am. Thank you, Lauren, for that impression of me. I am very, very tired. It's been a long week and some sleepless nights, and I'm trying to do all sorts of other things. So I do know that when I'm tired, my voice goes even deeper, but I hope it's not a tech issue.
I think it's definitely a mic issue.
Is
Either
it?
that or you're turning to some like superhero character
Robot,
right now.
yeah. Like Batman with a really
What
deep
has
voice.
a really deep voice? Yeah, Batman.
I'm Batman.
Say I am Batman.
No, that's, you gotta put the bigger, I'm Batman.
That's literally what you sound like, though.
Maybe it is a mic issue. I can do the whole podcast as Batman. I loved in the final Batman movie how he's still doing this voice when everyone freaking knew who he was. Like, why didn't he just speak normally? Do you know when you get like a big air bubble in your throat and your voice changes? That's what it sounds like. I don't know. Maybe it's actually maybe it is a mic issue, but I don't know how to change it at the moment. As long as you guys can hear me okay, and there's no like annoying crackling sounds or anything like that, just deal with it. But to get back to the point, so Danielle, that sounds amazing. Was there any particular reason that you came up with this idea? I mean, it's pretty extreme compared to most guys,
Yeah.
most other
Yeah.
people's ideas.
Yeah, so obviously I've been very open that I want to climb Everest base camp, not space camp like we thought before. I figured I need to get a little bit of training in, and what better way than doing the 3-peak challenge. So you climb the 3 biggest mountains in the UK. So the biggest one in Scotland, which is Ben Nevis, biggest one in UK is Garfield Pike, and the biggest one in Wales, which is Snowdon. And just to make things even more difficult for myself, I decided to do it in 24 hours. So.
Oh, you decided that?
Well, it is a challenge. It's been on my bucket list for a good few years, and I figured, well, if I've got a huge challenge of doing the base camp next year, so I might as well get this in beforehand.
Sounds good to me.
Give me a little hint of the hell that's to come.
So are you training in preparation for this?
Yeah. So me and my best friend, we went for a 10-mile hike on, when did we go? Saturday? What days? I'm losing track of the days. I think it was Saturday, last Saturday. So yeah, we're trying to get the cogs in motion on this now. Training. I went for my run today. Yeah, my best friend messaged me. She's like, "Oh, I did a 6-mile run the other day." So we're both kind of getting our heads in the game, ready to do this.
Wow.
Our mission is not to be the stragglers. Because
how many people are going to be doing it? Do you know? Like the 24-hour challenge.
In total, I think there's like 19 people in a group. Maybe it's a little bit less. Between 19 and 12 people in a group. So it's an arranged like excursion type thing, or an arranged challenge where we've got guides, and people that do it all the time. So it's not just us 2 girls from East London going up a couple of mountains with backpacks on. We actually have professionals with us doing it. But I've climbed a fair few mountains, and Supper's climbed a fair few mountains. She did the Inca Trail a few years ago, so she's very familiar with a good trek.
I certainly have not climbed any mountains. I think I've driven past Snowdon, but that's about as far as I've gotten. Well, that sounds amazing. And if you have any suggestions for charities for Danielle, let her know. There's so many to choose from is the thing when it comes to choosing a charity, and there's so many deserving ones. It's very difficult to choose. So good luck with that part. That might be the most difficult part of the whole thing, is actually choosing a charity. Miss Parkinson, how have you been? Miss Parkinson is soon to be my boss, I like to say.
That's a secret I'll never tell. Not until we're ready to tell. But yeah, Adrian's going to come and he's going to work for me. But no,
I love it. I love the sound of it.
I'm just going to crack the whip on you and be like, do this, do that, now. No, never. I'm not a nasty boss.
But that's actually what I expect, so.
No, Joanna will vouch, I'm never like that. I'm not anyone's boss.
It's nothing like a good whipping, Lauren. So anyway,
okay. Easy now, watershed.
So we can just, is it okay?
PG.
Good. Keep it PG. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. So what you were telling us before we went live, that you've been baking banana bread. Sound like you've had a good day.
Yeah, I had baked 2 banana breads today. What else did I do? I didn't really do much. Did my makeup. That was like a chore in itself, but I managed to do it. And then I just spent the whole morning really like mapping out the end of my month, because obviously I sell designer inspired perfumes. So towards the end of the month, we start to see like how we've done and what we need to do to finish off the month as a good month. So I think I'm about 2,000 points away from hitting my bonus, which is a nice £1,000, and then an extra £1,000 in my pocket this month.
What would you spend if you just suddenly had the £1,000? It's I think $2,000 here. What would be your impulse buy?
I'm not an impulse buyer. I think everyone can guess exactly what I'm going to spend my money on, and we'll
flights to Thailand.
Yes. Literally straight in the savings and ready to go to Thailand.
How much are the flights to Thailand from the UK?
Ooh.
They vary. So like my last flight that I got was 750, which is like the most
Ooh.
expensive they have ever been. I think it was due to everything that's going on that the flight prices just went sky high. But before that, they've been like 450, 500,
Ooh.
550.
Ooh.
So
That's expensive. My flights that I got to Thailand when I came out and saw you in Myanmar, they were about 380.
that's from
380.
London though. London, it's
Oh yeah, London.
very cheap.
Yeah.
But for me, I fly straight from work. So I do like a full day in the office and then go straight from work. So I always get the night flight and they're a little bit more. I can't travel to London to go and get a flight because I just haven't got the time to take to get
Yeah.
there.
The transfer from like where you are to London will probably make up the difference that you'd be paying anyway. So
Yeah.
because trains are super expensive in the UK.
It's like £100 to get to London on the train from here, and it's 5 stops, and I ain't ready for that. Not with a suitcase.
I mean, you can
So
always
do you
crash
fly
at
straight
mine.
out of? Do you fly out of Wales? Do you?
I fly out of Manchester, which is like 45 minutes. So where you
Right,
flew
okay.
into, that's where I.
Yeah, because I was going to say I've flown into Cardiff Airport a few times, and I was like surprised you can actually fly out internationally from.
Cardiff is the same distance as to London from me, so it's just so much easier for me to travel to like Liverpool or Manchester and fly from there.
I'm still so confused, obviously, with UK geography. I don't know where everything is. I just assume because you're in Wales that
I
you'd be
need like a
closer to
green
Cardiff.
screen, and I should have the map behind me, and I should be like, "This is North Wales. This is
Like a
South
weather
Wales.
girl.
Here is London."
You can do the clouds and stuff like that. I can't believe it's so cheap. I mean, can you guys guess normally how much it would cost for me to fly to the? Okay, so when I was flying over to Wales to see my ex, can you guess how much it would normally cost to fly from
Is it like
Sydney to Cardiff?
800 to 900
No,
or
I
something
reckon
like
it's
that?
more than that. I want to say like 1,200.
Somewhere in the middle. So normally I'd be pretty happy if it was about $2,000. I think on the high end. One time I flew into London because she had moved to London, and that was just under $2,000. Hello, Kitty. So that like £1,000. But yeah, so when you guys are saying, like when Daniel's saying it's like 300 and something pounds to fly to Thailand, because Thailand's not that far from us. I'm like, wow, if that seems expensive to you, flying out to Australia. Australia is so far from everyone. That's kind of the only thing I think that's bad about Australia is that we're
The
far from
cheapest way
everyone.
the cheapest way to get flights though is always have a layover. When
Yeah.
you have a layover, it's always cheaper, and you only laid over for like 2 hours, so it's fine. You can grab a coffee and then get straight back on the flight.
It's
Oh,
nice to
this is
stretch
with
your legs.
layovers.
Yeah,
This
I
is with
love it.
layovers, Lauren.
Oh,
There's
is
no,
it?
yeah, there's no direct from Sydney to Cardiff. From Sydney to
Oh, no.
London, I think one time I got a direct with Qantas, and I like that just because you could fall asleep, wake up, and you're in the place. And I do like a layover. If I could get a shower or something, that'd be perfect. But I think flying to Cardiff, because one time, you know, when you have multi-leg flights, if one leg is late, you're really screwed over. So we were taxiing on the runway. You know, when you just think you should take off and then you're stuck there for like an hour for no reason. That's what happened on the first leg. And then we missed the connecting flight. And then I think I was stuck in, I can never remember whether it's Ireland or Scotland. I'm going to say Ireland because it was so green flying over. I got stuck in the Ireland airport, I assume it's Dublin, for 8 hours to catch my next flight. And as compensation, I think they gave me a food voucher for £8. That was my compensation for having to spend 8 hours in Ireland. And that's the only time I've been in Ireland. It was
My
very
God, I would
pretty
have
flying
eaten
over.
at least 3 meals by then, just out of
Yeah.
boredom.
When I was going
Well,
to Galaxy International this year, I had a layover in Washington. I never want to go back to Washington because of this, because I had a 6-hour layover. And I thought, great, I'll watch a couple of films. That's fine. 6-hour layover, whatever. It's a bit long. But then a storm broke and I was there for another 10 hours. So it turned out in total I was there a layover of 16 hours.
Oh, no. I couldn't do that.
And they gave me $10 as compensation. I
spend it
probably
all at once.
Yeah, I probably should actually inquire about that, because I think over a certain amount of time you can actually get your like money back for a flight, but I just never looked
Isn't it
into
like if your flight is delayed over 5 hours, you get money?
Yeah, I should have looked into it really, but
No, it'll still be valid. I think it's valid up to like a year or 2 years after you travel. I've seen
well,
adverts in places about these things.
well, maybe I might have a cheeky like 350 quid come my way then.
Yeah. There we go. Over 3 hour delay, you're allowed to claim compensation on your ticket by aviation laws.
I'll look into that after this.
Get Googling.
Get my money back.
Yeah, put it
So
towards
you
a
might have
dress.
to
Yeah.
pay Lauren some commission on that. Wasn't also Galaxy International? Didn't you guys just kind of fly out of? Wasn't that a hurricane that was going to hit Florida or something? There was a storm, a
Yeah.
massive storm,
Just
wasn't
as
there?
just as I was leaving,
Yeah.
that it was announced that the storm was coming to Florida, and we just saw people go into like the department. I don't know, you know, like B&Q in the UK. I don't know what they had. I think it's called like Lowe's or something in America. And they were just going and getting like wooden boards to like like
Oh, no.
put against their windows, and we're like, wait, should we be doing something like this? We didn't. We managed to leave like the Tuesday before the storm hit.
These are the dangers of international pageantry. Not only the pageant itself, but massive storms. I'm going to have to listen back to this and hear what I sound like, because I'm really fascinated now. I haven't seen Money Heist. I know a lot of people have said they watched and they loved it. I had one person tell me it was hugely overrated and they hated it because they found it very distracting because it was dubbed. Apparently, it's not in English, so all the words are
it's not.
Not it's dubbed over. So I might have a look. Okay, so the other thing that I saw, Holly has obviously announced her pageant. Do you guys know if it's just for this sort of interim year because of quarantine where we don't have Galaxy UK at the normal time, or is she going to be running this ongoing?
I'm not too sure on that actually.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anyone ask that question. So, but knowing Holly, it's probably going to be joining the family.
Yeah, because if you think about it, like Galaxy is going to have to stay the same where it is now. Galaxy UK is going to have to be the same time.
Yeah.
So she's kind of got that gap to fill in March. And I suppose we'll only show if it's successful next year. It's probably going to end up staying. I'm very excited for it, though.
This is what it's called. So it's UK's National Miss. There's not.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Instagram will work. I normally have a. Oh, here we go.
Oh, there we go.
Well, hey.
UK'sNationalMiss.com. Does it have much information here? What have we got? So there's no information there.
I'm just very excited to see what the crowns look like. I know a few people have said they're excited to see what the crowns are going to look like and whether they'll be like in keeping with the family. You know, obviously International and Team GB has the same crown, but just obviously with different colours.
So Holly, I don't know if you guys can see it, but these are the divisions: Little Miss, Junior Miss, Teen Miss, Ms, and Classic Ms. So it's a little different to UK Galaxy. It doesn't have Misses; it's got Classic Ms instead. But it says under here, note each division from Miss upwards accepts any marital status, i.e., single, married, divorced, widowed. So obviously the Misses could join the Classic Ms. And Holly here said that she's based it all on the feedback because, as she mentioned, she did a survey a couple of weeks ago, and she got the feedback from all you guys, and it's probably created this based on all the feedback. Does anyone know the divisions? Has she announced it yet?
I don't think they're still set in stone yet, because she put up a status and there was still an ongoing discussion about I can't get my words out today. What is wrong with me? There's an ongoing discussion about the categories, I believe.
Yeah,
so I don't think they're set
a lot
in
of people said that they would prefer a Mrs. category.
Yeah,
and then some people say no. I'm not defined by being married. I'm still like Mrs. means.
Yeah, I actually really liked the comment from Zara Nortley that she put on there. So it's nice to not be defined by my marital status. So, because she made a point that men don't have to change their initials. What's it called? Their status. Men don't have to change theirs. So
their title.
Yeah.
Title, yeah.
It's always Mr. You don't have to worry about the Mrs. Am I Mrs. Am I
Yeah.
Ms. Am I Miss? That's an interesting discussion. I think you'll find people are probably split on that.
Yeah.
I know I read Kaylee. I think Kaylee was saying that she'd like a Mrs. Division, but she also wasn't super fussed. I think most sensible people probably won't mind either way. When is it being held? Is it being held during what would normally be Galaxy time, like March, April?
I presume
And that's
so.
yeah, that's what I think she said on one of the posts, that it's going to be March,
Okay.
isn't it?
Mm.
It
I
makes
would assume so,
sense.
probably because she'd probably have the hotel booked. She would have had the
Yeah,
hotel booked
Yeah.
for next year's Galaxy, so she's probably just shifted this around. And then next year's Galaxy, remind me, when is UK Galaxy talking here? When she's planning on running that's after International Galaxy, right?
Yes. Yeah. I think she put
2021.
up a status that Galaxy 2021 will be looking to be held in November. Correct me if I'm wrong.
November.
I think so,
November.
yeah, I think it was November.
Yeah, and those queens that get crowned in November 2021 will be attending Galaxy International 2022.
So it's like there's almost like a year missing. So you've got your
so this year's missing.
2020 queens, and then you've got your 2022 queens. But they're just going to be crowned in 2021, but they're going to go to the 2022 finals. But I mean, it's one of those circumstances that is probably never going to happen again. It's just the fact that COVID came and ruined everyone's pageant plans.
I like the way that she's done it, and I think it's probably the right way, if there's any such thing of doing it, because otherwise you'd have a year in the middle, and it would have been Danielle's year, where you then have probably, first off, they don't really, I mean, they'd hand over, but they haven't been to internet. There's a bit of a weird interim year. I mean, the way that it runs, the way Holly is doing it, some people get extra long reigns, but I don't think anyone really feels like they're missing out.
Yeah.
Whereas if she'd run Galaxy 2021, so if she'd run UK Galaxy 2021 before the International 2021, then you'd have 2 UK people in each division, or you'd have to give them a weird title. And I didn't really like the idea of that. Yeah, it's like I'm B1, B2. But, I mean, you could have done that. And I mean, the thing is, remember, this will cost Holly money as well. It'll cost Maria money as well, because you have a pageant that hasn't run, certainly in Maria's case, because there's no 2020 pageant at all. So I do feel for Maria. Does anyone know when Galaxy International next year? It's normally July, isn't it?
So it's going to be
July.
Same again in July. Yeah.
But do you know what I think though? Like, I think it's actually a good thing, because the girls have got from November until the following July to prepare for internationals. Like, that has so much. Because I remember when I won Galaxy, I literally had 3 months to get all brand new appearances, because my finalist appearances didn't really count for anything. So I had 3 months to be a queen and get all these appearances smashed out. And I was stressed. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to have enough done. But now they've got the November to the July to get as many appearances as they possibly can, and really have like a good go at getting appearances before they go to internationals.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, if you don't have time to sort it now, then you're never going to have time, because you've got an extra 12 months to sort it. Having said that, I don't know if anyone's had much success doing appearances or anything like that. I see it's kind of, I think people have sort of been stuck inside for too long. So you sort of had initially where we all got quarantined and everyone was going, oh, this will be interesting, and they're all trying different things. Now I feel like a lot of us have been stuck inside so long, we're sort of losing steam, and we're just a little bit sick of it and a bit lost. I don't know if it's the same, because I see so many comments, because I'm always replying to people, and I'm just watching the overall sort of emotional wave. It seems like a lot of people at the moment had a bit of a low, and then sort of you pick up and you do something and you feel really high,
and then you have
and then
another
you feel low again. It's kind of just like watching.
I kind of had a little bit, when was it? Was it the other night, Danielle, or the night before, where I kind of put in the group chat and I was like, I feel like I am doing nothing. Do I just come up with some sort of online campaign and get that posted? But at the end of the day, like, there's so many online campaigns now, which I think are amazing. But for me, I don't want to force anything just because I feel like I need to do it. It needs to become organic. And instead of doing online campaigns, I can do a lot of stuff behind the scenes that people may not see, but it's those plans that are going to be put in place for my Beauty with a Purpose project that people are going to see fruition throughout my year, whilst we get ready for Miss Wales finals. So doing these online campaigns is just going to take my focus away from the bigger picture.
Yeah, and I always say it's quality over quantity.
Yeah.
So those that are doing it can sometimes get exhausted when you see campaign after campaign after campaign. I'm like, are these actually making a difference? Like, I think before you start an online campaign, I think you really need to think about, you know, the long-term goal of this. What do you want to achieve by doing this? Instead of just posting a picture wearing, you know, and I'm not bashing anyone. I just feel like there was a phase where there was a lot of it and it was quite overwhelming. And I couldn't keep up with it. And you know, after you see something so many times, you're just like, okay, we need something new, something fresh, something a little bit more innovative.
I kind of zoned out on what people are doing on Facebook because I just see it all the time, and I'm being tagged in so many things that now I just zone out and I don't even check what I'm tagged in because it doesn't go on my timeline. It goes into the timeline requests, so I just don't even go in that folder.
I know, because every time I try to tag you in anything, it goes, you don't have permission to tag. I'm like, oh, Lauren. I understand it, by the way. I get tagged more on Instagram. Sometimes I get, the thing that bugs me is when you have someone who obviously wants your attention and they just followed you, or they suddenly, for some reason, want your attention, and you get liked. They like your last, 9 posts, and it comes up in your feed as so-and-so like your post, like your post, like your post, like your post, and it's within 2 minutes, and you're kind of like, that's pretty obvious. You haven't had time to read anything. You're just liking it to get my attention, so I'm not going to give you anything. But the as in, I'm not going to give you my attention. But the online campaigns, because I've been sort of watching the pulse, feeling the pulse of the community. If you look at the moment, there's a lot of people liking things, but very few people are commenting on things now, and it's kind of dropped off. People are just to the point where they're just scrolling, liking. It's very rare now that people actually stop to leave a comment, because I think we're just so oversaturated with social media. And I like Danielle's point of the online campaign. You need to think of the end goal, and I think that's really important. So if you're just doing it and it doesn't actually really build awareness or really make a difference, I think I'm really hoping someone comes up with something a little bit different, because I think online campaigns, it's a little bit, people are maybe rolling their eyes at it a little bit. And again, if you're doing it, it's great. But I would love to see, I think you also saw with Instagram Lives, there was a whole batch of people starting to do interviews.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. My entire, you know, the top of your story, you know, the top of your Instagram, it was all people live. And I'm just like, I was
trying to see what were people's stories.
Yeah,
I like the idea of the Miss Universe and Miss Wales doing it, because it's not very often that the girls get that sort of platform where they can kind of interact with the current title holder and really showcase themselves. So I love the idea of being able to showcase yourselves to the fans of that pageant. But then at one point it was just so many lives. I was like, oh my goodness, what is even going on?
Yeah, I love those ones. The ones are kind of, I was kind of wondering why everyone was doing it. It looked like someone started it, and then everyone thought, hey, this is a great idea, and jumped on it. And in itself, I don't have any problem with that. But the fact that it was on Instagram Live, this is from a tech point, was bugging me, because it's like, you could do the world's most epic interview, and it's gone in 24 hours, because you can't keep it on Instagram Live.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys do it on Facebook Live? And then I understood that people didn't know how to bring guests onto Facebook. So Harriet asked me, how do you do this sort of a thing? And this is why I'm now using this software, is because I recommended it to her, and it's not without its problems, obviously. But I want someone I'm hoping someone comes up with something that I look at and go, wow, that's interesting, or that's innovative. Something whilst we're stuck in lockdown. And I don't know what it is, to be fair. I haven't had time to sit down and actually think about it. But actually, this is the other thing, because I wanted to ask you guys, in Australia with lockdown, we're beginning to roll the restrictions back. And that's because if you look at our numbers, they're phenomenal, like phenomenally low. We've done really super well compared to almost the entire rest of the world. New Zealand has as well.
New Zealand's done amazing.
So much so to the point that we're thinking of setting up sort of international. We can't travel internationally, but we're thinking of a special exception for New Zealand, between Australia and New Zealand, because the COVID numbers in both countries are pretty low. And their prime minister is amazing. I put up a post
Yeah,
where
she's
she literally was
amazing.
doing a press conference, and literally there's an earthquake while she's answering someone's question, and she just goes, she's shaking, and the whole camera's shaking, and she goes,
Oh, you're frozen. Have I
He's
frozen?
gone.
No, Adrian's frozen.
Adrian's
Oh, man.
gone.
What
Okay,
did she
that's even
say?
better now. So
What did she
guys,
say?
here's
Just
one of real
suspense.
tears
Never
gonna...
never mind.
You just froze then.
I know. I think I need to restart my computer. Tell me if my voice sounds even weirder now. But she literally was, she said, and this is such a New Zealand and an Aussie thing, we're having a bit of an earthquake. I mean, can you,
Just a little
A
bit.
bit.
can you imagine? I mean, us Aussies don't really get earthquakes. New Zealand's a bit more frequent. But we're famous down under, and including New Zealand, for sort of not taking anything too seriously. And then the reporter asked her, "Is everything all right? Are you safe?" And she goes, "Yeah, I'm not sending on any lights. It looks structurally sound, so it's okay." I'm like, if it was if it was Donald Trump or something, you just imagine him diving for cover and all his bodyguards like helping him out. So yeah, just having a bit of an earthquake. It's all good. But what's happening with lockdown in the UK? Because I had my friend in the US saying, "Yeah, we're all back to normal. Everyone's going out," and I'm like, "Why? Like, isn't that way too soon?" So what's happening in, I guess, in England, and what's happening in Wales? Because as I understand it, they're not necessarily the same.
No. Danielle, do you want to start with England?
England, we are technically still in lockdown, but if you can't work from home, like I sound like the meme, the Matt Lucas recreation of Boris Johnson. If you can't work from home, go to work. Don't go to work. Don't go out, but you can go out. I don't even want to go into it. I'm still confused. I'm still confused from that announcement. But basically, just stay in lockdown. Basically, just But if you need to, if work's telling you to go in, then go.
You got to go in.
I would avoid the tube at all costs if you're in London. Yeah, I'm still confused about that, but I'm still living my life as if I'm in lockdown.
So nothing has really changed, to sum up. It's still pretty much the same.
I went to the park today and there was like loads of people out there having picnics and stuff. We're allowed unlimited outdoor time now.
And you're allowed to meet one person from outside of your household and be 2 meters apart. But Wales is still like completely
no one is doing that.
Stay at home.
I went on my run today. I ran past like a family party in the park. There was probably about 20 people sitting in a big circle.
Yeah,
and they weren't 2 meters from each other.
We're getting a lot of people like just completely rebelling against the advisories that the government set out. I mean, I saw on someone's Snapchat that they were having a hot tub party.
Ooh.
With a load of people around their house, and I was just like, this is not what we're supposed to be doing. How have your neighbours?
That sounds like the absolute worst thing you could do, a hot tub party. Could you do anything worse?
Yeah. Corona soup.
Oh God.
Yeah. I mean, I know that the kind of restrictions, I know this from personal experience. I lost my nan 2 weeks ago, so for funeral purposes, I know that we are allowed a few more, and they're not so strict on it anymore. You're still not allowed inside the church or anything like that, but we're just doing like a graveside, and they said at first that you're only allowed 20, but if you can have more, like if you need more than 20, you can have them there, but just they have to everyone has to space out as much as possible.
Social distance, yeah.
Yeah, and it is just being about it's self-awareness and just being sensible with it all. But I know Scotland and Wales decided to just kind of separate from England and from what Boris was saying, because we still feel it's necessary to stay in lockdown a little bit longer.
Well, Sophie here has said we move into phase one as of Thursday. Sophie? I don't know what phase one is. Is that the Nando's chili thing?
That's
Um,
No,
the
UK
alert
lockdown is a
scale.
chili. That's the alert.
The
I
Nando's chili, the spice scale.
You got to understand, there's so
I know
much
that I
news to
had a
keep up with Corona, and then internationally as well. And you just reading it all, and you go like, I don't know what phase, what color we're up to. Where are we on the chili scale? What am I allowed to do? What am I not allowed to do?
So I know I had a conversation with my boss from the estate agents, and we're preparing to go back to work as of the 1st of June. So
Okay, so next week.
yeah, so I think we're getting briefed at some point on the weekend where they'll probably tell us what we are going to do next. But I'm just trying to
Okay,
read
but has
the
anything
newspaper.
changed? Like, why is that happening now? I mean, if you can, that's great. But why is it happening now? Someone must have changed something.
I think our
I think
numbers
our
are
numbers
reducing,
are, yeah.
Yeah.
so they're starting to relax a little bit more now, which
But the thing is, though, then we don't want like the second wave to come and it's going to be more worse than the first.
Well, there's going to be a spike. There has to be.
Yeah.
I think it's just a
yeah,
question of how big it is.
how
But I think we
big.
talked about this last week. The thing that boggles my mind is sure, go back to work if you can take your own car and your work has enough space. But the tube in London boggles my mind. Like, how can you do that and pretend that that's safe? Like, that's the one thing I would not want to be in, is an enclosed space on a platform underground with a whole
Which is
bunch of
warm.
potentially infected people around me. That I don't understand that. Like I was saying last week in Sydney now, our public transport, it has dots literally where you're allowed to stand. And the police said, if you're not standing on the dot, we're going to like physically pull you off. So a normal bus cannot, which is a big bus, similar to a London sized bus, except a single decker, can only have 12 people on it. So we're being super
Yeah.
cautious about that. Whereas over there, it kind of sounds like, and in America as well, someone has decided, well, we need the economy going again. Everything's fine, run and play. And I'm like, based on what? I mean, I know your numbers are coming down, but very easy to put it back up because most people still haven't been infected. So there's none of this herd immunity stuff. And I'm getting really confused now.
In central London, we have a thing called the congestion charge, which is basically
Yeah.
you have to pay a certain amount of money if you want to drive through central London. Now, they lifted this to encourage people to drive to work if they need to go to work, so they don't have to pay that. I believe, I don't really have a reliable source for this, but I believe that is back now in place. So you do now have to pay if you want to go into central London in your car. So they did lift that for a bit to encourage people to drive in instead of getting the tube, but that's back in place now. So
Okay.
I think they probably
I'm
realise how much money they're losing on it, and they need
which
all the
I
money they can get.
understand. I understand, but as Lauren mentioned, I think last week, it's like it's no good if you're trying to get the economy started if everyone is getting reinfected. I mean, that's just it's very short-term thinking. I mean, to give you an idea, in Australia, as I said, we're doing phenomenally well, and they're still not allowing interstate travel between specific states. So Queensland, which is a state just north of myself, it's the one with the Gold Coast and Brisbane and all the ridiculously amazing beaches. They don't want any of us coming from New South Wales into their state because they say that, quote unquote, we're the worst state in terms of infections. And you know, they're right, but this is within Australia. They're still keeping borders shut. So when I hear like the UK and the US, like in Florida where my friend is, and just like, yeah, we're open again, it kind of, I get really confused because your numbers are a lot worse than ours, magnitudes. We've only, and I say only in inverted commas, had 100 deaths nationwide from corona in a country of over 20, I think it's probably 25 million population, to give you an idea, and we're still not allowing interstate travel between certain states. So for me to hear that, yeah, we're open for business as usual, I'm like, why? Apart from the economy, is there any reason apart from we need to get money going again? It just, that's why I'm asking, because I'm really confused at the moment.
Basically.
Well,
and it sounds like a
as
lot of
far
other
as I'm
people are
aware, I'm
confused as
going
well.
back to work on the 1st of June. Yeah,
Right.
I'm just waiting to hear now from the government, but 1st of June is I think from what I'm hearing is very likely to happen, because we're only having
Okay.
one person in the office, and that's it. So just work alone in the office, and suppose you can't really, and you go into work on your own, go home on your own. You're not really going to infect anyone, are you? Or
Well, I
well,
think if
who
you
knows?
can drive in yourself, and if everyone's being intelligent with distancing and the hand sanitizers, and I think, look, in Australia, most people now are being very sensible with it. I think at the beginning, I was very disappointed that Australians were being a bit stupid about it, and I think it may have been mainly tourists who were being a bit stupid about it, which I can understand. But then, yeah, I get that. So you sit in your own space in your office. You don't go around and touch everyone's stuff, and you sanitize your hands. I get that. But as I said, what I get really confused about and worried about, frankly, is the tube and public transport and things like that,
Yeah.
because I don't understand. It doesn't sound like, at least
Mm.
in London, you guys have taken the same precautions as in Sydney, with literally putting dots. You can stand here, you can stand
That's
there, but you can't
that's
stand
so
anywhere in
good.
between.
I
And it was
am.
just such a. It sounds so much common sense to me.
Yeah, I read an article recently, like you mentioned, the New Zealand Prime Minister.
Mm,
I read an article recently that the female prime ministers or the female leaders of the world are actually
I put
doing
that up.
their countries, yeah, that's where I saw it then, are actually doing a lot better in running their countries and reducing their cases of COVID-19, which I found really
Yeah.
interesting. But no, there's no like dots on the floor anywhere here in the tube. And like you said that
We have it in supermarkets, but that's about it.
we didn't,
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in my supermarkets. I've seen like
Oh,
we have like arrows on the floor. You have to go like a certain route. No one takes a blind bit of different like notice out of
no.
that whatsoever.
I was
Mm.
literally shopping the other day, and I was like trying to be wary of the distance between the person in
Mm,
front of me and not go in until they'd gone and stuff like that. And then this woman just came past me like straight in front of me, and I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa.
yeah. Actually, no, I have seen some dots on the floor. I think I was in a Morrison's and I saw dots on the
Morrison's,
floor.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's where I went the other day. They've got dots on the floor.
yeah. But they don't
But
have
I'm
Well, I
dots on
scared
the
think,
of
floor at
public
Tesco.
transport on the best of days, so I would not
yeah.
be taking public transport now.
No.
And you said, was it
There's
25 million people in Australia? That's it.
I think it's somewhere, yeah, but way back I know it was less than that, but I think it's definitely over 20 million nationwide.
Okay.
And
Well,
as I said,
we have almost 9 million people in London alone.
yeah, so
So
that's a good double, probably even more so than the size of Sydney. The population of Sydney probably in a much more contained area. So this is where I get very confused. It's like, if you reopen for business, how are you going to make sure that your population stays safe? And surely public transport with the tube, that's the number one thing. You need to
yeah,
do something about it. And why not put something like dots? I mean, it's super simple. You put them literally, they're stickers, and then you just police that. At least try doing something.
yeah.
Um,
Maybe
I just,
avoid sitting on the seats or holding the bars unless you've got gloves on. I don't think you should be
yeah.
allowed to go in the tube unless you've got a face mask on. But and they need to have the staff to enforce these rules. But I don't think they're going to
That is the
put the
thing.
money into
So,
it. Yeah.
well, here in Sydney, it's literally the police who are being tasked with it. And as I said, they're being very strict about it. They did a press release saying, if you're not going to obey this, then we're going to drag you kicking and screaming off the bus, and the bus won't be going anywhere until there's 12 people on the bus, not 13. And I think you need that, because not everyone's going to follow the rules. And if you're a citizen, you can't exactly, just kick someone off the bus yourself.
Mm.
So you need you could try,
Yeah.
but you need someone to enforce these rules. Otherwise, it's completely pointless.
Yeah.
So, as I said, I've just been a bit confused, because Australia, I think we've done really well, and we still have quite a lot of restrictions. We're only very gradually rolling them back, whereas it seems other countries just have gone, we're okay now, we'll reopen. And it seems to be there's no reason for it other than our economy is really screwed up, which I understand. But if you have a second spike, your economy is worse things than your economy being screwed up are going to happen. Caitlin says, the taxi driver, we've been advised to take card payments. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
And then
you don't want to
Charlotte
take
here has said,
cash.
third week of work already, self-employed, work from home, Manchester area. Joe, we have security guards on our supermarket doors in Blackpool.
Oh yeah,
Is
we do
that
as well. we have the security guards there.
Yeah, we've got
But
some.
I think I've almost seen a fight break out on my local Tesco, because when I went last, the queue was humongous. The
Oh,
queue
wow.
took me 40
Oh.
minutes. I obviously went at the wrong time. 40
Mm.
minutes in a queue, and I saw at least three people try and jump it, and then there was a security guard that was, obviously you can't touch people, so he's trying to do his job and not let him through, but he's trying to like jump
Yeah.
the
We
queue and
had
get
a
in there.
full-on fight in the KFC drive-through the other week. It was absolutely insane and hilarious at the same time. There's
How do you
basically
have a
like
fight in a drive-through?
Oh,
Aren't you all in your
it-
cars?
wait till you hear this though. There's a Starbucks and a KFC. It was that way to Starbucks and that way to KFC. So the Starbucks guy came out and was talking to the cars and was like, if you want to go to Starbucks and you don't want to wait in this massive queue for KFC, you can just cut in front and turn that way and you can go to Starbucks. So this kid, he must have just passed his test. He was about 17 or 18. He looked very, very young. Decided, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna cut the queue for KFC. And he just sped through and then pushed in front of this other guy in the car. So this other guy like went right up to the bonnet of his car, not the bonnet, the rear end of his car, and got out and started punching him through the window and shouting at him. So then the little guy in the car, the like 18-year-old, just decided to reverse 3 times into his car. And then people were like getting out. I shouldn't laugh, but it was just so unbelievable. Me and Mum were like, what is going on? I just want a KFC.
You just want a bargain bucket.
Yeah. And I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. And then people were getting out their cars, videoing it. And this kid was just like zooming off, and they were on the phone to the police, like saying, he's just crashed into my car. People were like, well, you shouldn't have punched him in the face. It was crazy.
Jesus.
I like to say things like that don't happen in Australia, because I've never heard of anything like that happen in Australia.
I've seen videos
that's
of it, but I've never been a witness of one of these.
just punching him through the window.
Well, like his window was down because it was a hot day, but he just decided to like just put his hand through the window and was punching him in the face, all because he cut in front of him in the KFC queue.
Told you KFC is bad for you. all these.
It was very, very nice though, and well worth the wait.
The KFC or the punching in the face?
The KFC.
So are they
not
open
one
again now?
for
KFC and Macca's?
Just
McDonald's.
KFC.
McDonald's
Well,
not
some
open.
McDonald's are open, but they're the ones that
Oh,
are
yeah.
closest to the warehouse where they must make the produce.
Yeah, I'm not really like a KFC or a McDonald's kind of person, but recently I have been craving it because it's just knowing that you can't have it.
Yeah.
I think we were talking about
Definitely.
the filet-o fish buns last night and how we need to know their skincare routine because they are always like perfectly smooth.
I think it's called having a high
They're
level of
steamed.
plastic put in you.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I think this. I don't know if this is urban folklore or whether it's true, but I think if you take a McDonald's burger and you just leave it on, a shelf
I've seen
somewhere,
those videos.
and you come
Time
back to
lapse.
it 6 months, a year later, and it still looks exactly the same, that should really make you think twice. But having said that, when you haven't had it for a long, I get I don't care about the burger so much. It's the fries.
The
I can't.
fries. Salty,
Yeah.
salty.
With no salt. No salt.
I like the salt.
You got to have salt, Lauren. I'm not a
Salt.
salt person normally, but for some
Same.
reason, fries without salt, it just tastes like I might as well just eat potato. And even potato needs seasoning for me because otherwise it's very bland.
I don't
So
like
the one
salt,
time I do need salt is. So you don't have
Yeah.
salt on anything?
Well, I go to McDonald's and I say, "Can I have fries with no salt, please?" And then they go, "Ugh." I've once been
gotta make a
called
whole
the
new
B
patch up.
word,
Okay,
because
but
I asked for no salt on my
Is,
fries.
is that the one time you don't have salt is on fries, or sort of like blanket on everything you don't like having
Well,
salt?
I don't eat like crisps with salt on them, so I don't eat ready salted crisps. I
Oh
don't
wow.
really add salt to my food, only if I'm cooking pasta, but then you can't really taste it that much in the pasta.
Yeah, that's a bit
Um,
different.
So yeah, I don't really add salt to my food at all.
I don't really
thought-
like. I don't add it on top. Only on chips.
No.
Like I add it in when I'm
Yeah.
cooking, like for seasoning, like marinades and all that good stuff.
But you know when
I'll
you go
add
and get
salt
fish
and
and
pepper in.
chips and they're like salt and vinegar, I'm like, nope.
Yes.
I
Pile
don't
it
like
on.
vinegar either.
Oh no.
I don't like the vinegar on my fish and
Oh.
chips. I'll agree with you on that one, but it needs to have salt.
What?
Otherwise,
No,
it
I-
just
it doesn't
feel
need salt. It just needs
I-
ketchup or mayonnaise.
I have
Ketchup.
a very
no.
particular way that I salt and vinegar my chips.
I'm hungry now.
So, first of all, when you get
Here
your
we go.
chips, put your salt on. Then I put my regular vinegar, salt them again, and then I put a little bit. You know the onion vinegar, the clear one. That's.
No.
Please, someone comment below. You know the onion vinegar. I don't know if that's an
White-
East End thing.
white.
The white.
Wait.
It's like it's not
White
it's like-
vinegar, yes, I know.
No, it's not even vinegar. It's like pickle juice. I don't know what it is, but they have it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's pickle juice. So I do like salt, vinegar, salt, pickle juice. Banging.
That is
Try it.
heartburn on a plate.
It's so good.
Literally heartburn on a plate.
I'm
There was-
salivating.
My brother was telling me here in Australia, because we tend to eat, there's a lot of people who eat super healthy, and nut milk is a huge thing here. I don't know if it is in the UK,
yeah.
so like almond milk and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hazelnut.
And the dairy farmers are getting upset about these people using the word milk to describe their nut milks. So do you know, and this is not a word of a lie apparently, do you know what they want these nut milk producers to call their things now, their products? Not nut
Nut.
milk.
Nut juice.
No, thank you.
I'll stick with my nut milk.
Can you? Nut juice. Oh
Go to
dear me.
Starbucks and you're like, can I have that with nut juice instead of milk, please?
Can you just imagine as a young girl going up to the male barista and saying, "Can I have? Do you have any nut juice?" And be like, "Did I just hear that right?" Okay, well there you go, Danielle. Kevin Wise knows onion
Yes.
vinegar. I have no idea what you're talking about. Pickle juice.
It's-
I've heard people drink pickle juice, but I don't know if it's the same thing.
Ooh, I like pickle juice. I like pickles.
We've got Look, here we go. Is pickle juice the brother-in-law of Beetlejuice? It's distilled vinegar. Does that mean it's
Distilled vinegar? I don't know, but
Vinegar.
it's good. They always have two types of vinegar in my chippy. They'll have the brown vinegar and then the clear vinegar. I don't know what it is,
That must
but
be a
it's good.
London thing.
Maybe.
we don't have that. I don't even think you'd find onion vinegar here in Australia. I've never heard of it. I've heard of white vinegar, rice vinegar. There's
Maybe it's
red
white
vinegar in
vinegar.
Chinese
I don't know.
restaurants.
I might go to my chippy tomorrow and I'll take a picture of it
Ask
and
them,
I'll
yeah.
ask them what's in that and we'll find out.
Uh,
Highly recommend.
Anyway, we seem to have these giant arguments over food and the best way to have it. So obviously, if the three of us went to have fish and chips, we're all going to have it very different ways. I just like it with salt or chicken salt, because you can have a lot of chicken salt here as well, and
Chicken salt.
tartare sauce. Yeah,
What sauce?
it's
What sort?
What sauce
tartare.
is that? Tartare?
Tartare. What do you call it? Tartare.
Tart.
I don't even know. I'm now so phobic of pronouncing any because you thought the way I said raspberries was funny.
Raspberry.
Raspberry.
Whichever way I go, anything I say now seems to someone thinks it's funny. So I don't know what to say now. So my accent is now this mishmash of Australian, UK, and US, and frankly, it depends on who I'm talking to. I can't speak normally anymore. But Lauren wants it with, I was going to say tomato juice, because now I'm thinking
Well, I
of all this
usually
stuff.
do like a
Ew,
fish
ketchup.
and chips with ketchup, or then I like curry sauce on my chips.
Oh, you rotter. No.
Or mushy
can't-
I
peas.
don't-
Love mushy peas.
Okay, well, I'll allow the mushy pea, but you've got to have mint sauce on the mushy pea. Ooh.
No.
Oh.
I'll just-
We don't have
sauce.
mushy peas here in Australia. That's a very UK thing. I'm just telling you now.
Are you
So there will be
okay?
no mushy
You're
peas.
missing out.
There'll be no mushy. No, I don't think I am. I had it in the UK. I'm
Are
like,
you
this
okay?
is just pureed peas.
Are you
So
okay? Are you sure you're okay, Adrian?
I'm not okay. I've never said I'm okay, but I'm okay without having mushy peas because it just sounds. I mean, think about it. It just sounds revolting. Mushy peas. I mean, when is mushy a good thing? You don't want any if anyone tells you, describe you
just-
as mushy, well, I don't.
You just
Probably
like
not
whole
with it.
peas then?
I don't mind
Whole-
peas, but mushy, yeah,
whole
mushy
peas.
just sounds like someone has just overcooked them, which basically mushy peas is, and then pureed it. It sounds like stuff to eat when you have no teeth. Drink it through a straw.
No,
It-
not that. It's got to be a little bit thick. I like my mushy peas when they're lumpy.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's not
little
like
bit
a
mush.
paste, like it could come out of a tube. I like a bit of lump in there.
Mushy peas.
Okay, I
are the
don't-
one.
The thing with chips, because people are talking about now what they put on their chips, I hate putting anything on my, and when I say chips, I'm talking about fries, not crisps, because putting any sauce on the fries makes them soggy, and that makes me very
Ooh.
sad. So I don't like putting anything on my fries. I really hate it when you sort of, between a friend, you get a big serve of fries, and then someone decides to pour all the sauce on it,
Oh,
and then the
that's
whole
just
thing is soggy.
rude.
That just makes it really
Rude.
sad. I'd be like, no, I'll go get my own. Gravy on them.
Chips
I
and gravy.
don't know if that's a huge thing here.
That's a northern
Mushy
thing.
peas
That is.
and yeah, see, this is why I don't think I'm northern, despite what that quiz on Facebook said. Mushy peas and ketchup together,
Ooh.
Megan. That no.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
Really?
can. I don't know if I can get down with that.
And then
Um,
have you ever had a oh, that's a hell of a name. No, I don't know, and I don't know what those are, Kevin.
So I worked in a butcher's, and I actually had to cook the faggots in the butcher's, and it's basically like all the offcut of meat, all ground up in the grinder, and then cooked in these little balls. It's also
like
called like a
little-
savoury duck. It's got like the liver, the.
do you have like
off-
little spices in
everything.
there as well?
Yeah, they have like a faggot mix, and it's like some pepper. It's like a stuffing bowl with all the offcuts of meat. But
Faggot
the real
balls.
name for 'em is savoury duck. Yeah.
Okay, you don't sell those here in
Back
Australia.
from my butchering days when I used to work in a butcher's.
I heard that when I didn't realize this. I've interviewed you. I never knew you worked in a butcher's shop. So are you able to
Yeah.
like are you able to like
Cut
dissect? Yeah, like chop up a whole cow
No.
or
I left that for the guys in the back. If they'd ask for like something done like a pork chop or a lamb chop, I'd just take the whole thing to the boys in the back and be like, "Can you cut this for me, please?"
you're very good at doing that. That's the same face you said you make at the airport when you want extra baggage.
No, it's when I want extra like seats to lie down on.
Mushy peas are actually marrow fat peas, not garden peas. I feel like this podcast has just become talking about different types of food. This is what's happening in quarantine, mind you. Everyone's obsessed with
Everyone's
baking now. We're obsessed
hungry.
with
I'm
talking
I've
about.
been
sick of eating the
cooking.
same thing, though. I'm having the same thing most weeks. I'm gonna make a chili con carne though at some point because
Ooh.
I miss chili con carne.
I've been cooking
That
a lot
sounds
more
good.
as well. I went full on Mrs. Hinch today and cleaned the entire kitchen. I have like this spice rack that spins, and because it's right next to the cooker, it gets like covered in a little layer of grease. I know that's disgusting.
Yeah.
So I degreased all of that today and started looking at all the spices and like playing around with them. So trying to, become a
I
little bit more
decided
of a
to empty one of
homemaker.
my mum's. I emptied one of my mum's cupboards, and I was like, "Do you need all these things?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What are all these wires for?" She's like, "I don't know, but I need them." And I was
Sounds like my dad.
"Well, they are going in the bin," and I threw them away and put all my parcel stuff all in the cupboard. I was like, "This is now my cupboard."
This is my parcel drawer.
Your dad's man cave, man shed is. I saw
Pretty
that at the end
epic.
of your YouTube video. It's like, oh my god.
I had a few requests being like, can you film a video with your dad talking through what's in his shed? Because it's like going into Aladdin's cave, but for like DIY and golf. So
Golf.
maybe, yeah. Oh my God, I feel like taking you downstairs there now. Should we go down there?
What are you on your phone? Can you move?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
can
we'll
take
wrap
my
this up.
phone.
So yeah, sure, go for it.
I mean, the viewers can come along with me, but I've moved away from
They're
my ring
going
light.
to, obviously.
Right.
Oh my god, I
Um,
feel like I've got a secret admirer in the comments.
Oh, what they saying?
Lauren Parkinson is hot. Lauren is
Ooh.
hot.
Yeah, sorry, Ron Burgundy,
Don't
but you're
forget-
blocked.
Oh,
Don't forget Danielle and Adrian. They are hot
I was gonna say,
too.
what am I, bloody chopped liver?
Oh, I don't care if someone wants to say Lauren is like, I'm not jealous. I'm just like, that's got no place on
I
my
am.
channel. So you
Right.
Danielle, here we go. We're
The
getting a
light is
tour.
on. This is the man cave. One of my favourite features of the man cave is our ball box.
Ball box.
Oh yes. I feel like I'm going to break
Oh
something.
my god, they're all gonna
Yeah,
fall.
Hold up.
Oh my
Careful.
god, I'm scared.
Could you imagine if they just drop?
I watched a
Oh,
video
I'm-
on TikTok and it was all of his golf balls falling out of his boot of his car.
Oh, that was such a good TikTok. I was tempted to do that to my dad today because he went and played golf today. But basically, let me see. It's a whole box
Oh.
of golf
Oh
balls.
my God.
Really? Do you need that many golf balls, Dad? Like, really? Like, it's gone around an entire golf, like, you know, like a driving range and taken all the balls. And this is pretty
why does he
big.
need? Why does he need so many? I don't. I mean, if you have a driving range, I get it, but
I mean, we can go and ask him why he needs so many balls, but like, really, that is just not necessary. And we have like an old vintage car here that my dad is doing up.
oh god.
Let me turn.
Because normally
I haven't been down here so long.
Normally it's a
Don't even
thing,
know where the
like it's a
switches
standing
are.
joke
Could you
with
imagine-
guys that
Can you
they
imagine if
will.
like Freddy Krueger jumped out right now?
Who's behind you, Danielle?
Right, here's the light switches. Boom. Let there be light. Oh, this is a,
I did that to Maggie G the other night and she was like, I'm gonna kill you.
there's a car on here. Would you believe it is a frame? Dad's been doing some very good welding work on here.
Oh wow.
Oh my goodness.
That is my bike. Let's find some cringy things in here because my dad keeps everything. Some golf clubs. He's taken the disco ball down, and that makes me really sad. I actually ripped my dad because when I was a kid, I had this
Disco ball.
a purple disco ball that I used to have in my room for some reason. Don't ask me why. I thought I was some like disco diva.
Purple disco.
Dad had it hanging up in here, and randomly, Dad came to me and was just like, "I've thrown out your disco ball because you had a go at me about it. You ripped into me about it." And because I put it on the internet, all of Dad's friends saw it, and they all asked him why he had a disco ball in his garage.
He has organized it very well.
Just in case you want
Every inch is used.
Yeah. And above
Oh.
here is the most amount of wood you will ever see in your entire life. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that, but there is
Can't.
boards and boards and boards of wood everywhere.
So what does he do with it all? Does he make stuff? I mean, aside from the car, but the wood's obviously not for the car.
I mean, we can kind of. Oh, yeah, we're just exploring your man cave. Why? Because everyone's intrigued.
It's gonna come and shout
Everyone
at you.
wants to know what's going on in here. I'm glad he didn't swear. Oh, me old crabbing lines. You ever been crabbing, Adrian?
Is that catching crabs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been crabbing
I
down
mean,
the beach.
there's one for all of us here. Look, I've got like.
No,
I mean,
what's the difference between a crabbing line and a fish line?
How many crabbing lines do you need? I've got 4 here.
But what's the difference between that and a fishing line?
Oh my goodness.
It's on this. They're always orange for some reason. Don't know why. And then there's wire that goes around it.
Yeah, and like
they
you
usually
put them in the water and the crabs come
Oh,
and
it's
get food
wire.
off them.
There's a weight on there.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And then what you do is
It's just like a normal fishing line, but you don't like cast it out. You just drop it
Yeah.
by the. And then yeah.
my secret is put a piece of bacon on it. They love bacon. People use sweet corn. They don't want to eat
yeah.
a vegetable. They want the good stuff. They want smoky bacon. Well, I actually need to turn the light off.
Careful going out. There seems like there's a lot you could trip over.
Oh, don't.
Yeah,
Everything.
put the torch on your phone.
Engine. I don't know what one the engine is. Mechanics hit me up. Let me know. Right. Oh, where's the light switch? Yeah, this radio looks older than me.
Probably is.
Oh wow, that's a proper transistor radio. That's
There's
probably
it.
got fuses in it and stuff. Oh God.
Everything in here. But yeah, that is my dad's garage.
Wow. Okay. I
YouTube
think he might
video on that
actually
soon.
be Batman. Well,
Yeah.
there's so many things in there, and it actually sounds like he knows what they all are. Because the normal joke
Yeah.
is that guys collect all these power tools, but they have no idea how to use them.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And then
so-
this was a find that we found the other day in there, which is amazing. And I've decided when I buy my place, I'm going to stick a slab of marble on top and make it bougie. But it's a Singer. I don't know if you can see that. It's a cast iron Singer. What it used to have
sewing
a
machine.
sewing machine on top of it. So it's really, really beautiful vintage. So
I know how heavy those
he
are.
went to put a rubbish piece on top of it, and I was like, absolutely not. I said, we'll wait until I find a place, and I'm going to stick a glorious piece of marble on top.
My ex had one of those exact tables that still had the vintage sewing machine on, and there's no, I've never lifted anything heavier in the world because the sewing machine was made of cast iron as well. So I know exactly how heavy that table is. Well, that was unexpected. We got a man cave
There
tour.
we go.
It's a very, very cool man cave. A lot in there. My grandma. Yeah, they are properly old Singer sewing machines. Okay. All right. Well, why don't we hold it there? Has anyone got anything exciting coming up in the next week? I mean, apart from Lauren said she might be going back to work in June, which is exciting.
Yeah.
Get you out of the house, I guess.
It's my birthday in like 2 weeks. That's about it. A lockdown birthday. Fun.
Quarantine birthday. Yeah, there's going to be a few of those coming up. Okay. Well, we've done Danielle's announcement. We've covered the pageant girl pageant. And I'm still, guys, working on the pageant review site. That's one of the reasons why I've had
Danielle
no sleep.
still hasn't got her picture up either. So she's still
that's not
working on
happening.
that.
Saving it till lastminute.com.
I was telling Danielle it's probably better if you don't put it up, and she thought I was just saying that, so she didn't put it up so I would win the bet. I'm like, no, I was
like, I know your game.
I
Like,
really don't care.
There. Like, it's his home. It's where it belongs. I've never seen something suit the space it's in so much. I'm like, I know your game. I know your game.
This is what happens when I try to be nice. Someone just assumes I'm trying to win something.
I know how competitive you are. I know I'm competitive.
You haven't seen the half of it. So
I think I need to play tennis with you to really see the extent of this.
I need to play tennis with Lauren. That's one thing that we didn't get to do. Which view do you think is better? You see, I've been doing this one. It feels like this one just makes me feel a little bit. Oh, hello.
Oh.
To like position myself.
Lauren is straightening up. This feels very claustrophobic.
Sharp.
We're celebrating on Wednesday and having a.
You know that
birthday
TikTok,
party
Danielle?
You
know that TikTok? Wait, put us back beside each other.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like there, and then she goes.
Oh, the wrong way.
Yeah.
Go again.
That way you have to.
One.
Hang on. So go to the left. If I go left, which way do you guys go? Go tilt your heads left.
There you go.
Left, and then it's like we can be in a car together. You know, it's like go left, and then go right.
No.
We can. What we need like a pen or something with a makeup brush, and literally Lauren could pass it to Danielle, can pass it to me. I mean, I can't do my makeup, but I don't have a pen here.
I only have like AirPod case.
Oh, I don't have fancy AirPods.
Do you have an AirPod case?
No, of course I don't. Look, I'm still retro.
Because I could throw it to you and you could catch it.
You can go it over me.
Oh yeah. Adrian is going over Danielle. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh no, she's dropped it on the floor. Oh, but you threw it into her. You need to throw it higher. Probably don't do it. You might break it.
Up and over.
It's just reminding me of Chloe. Chloe's Apple Watch. Yeah,
I know.
All the Apple stuff is so spectacularly good at breaking. Like you drop it from like this height, and it doesn't just crack; it shatters. Like I'd talk like it looks like an elephant stood on it. It doesn't look like you just dropped it. It looks like you've been stomping on it because it was completely anyway. And they're so expensive. I couldn't believe how expensive they were.
I've got an Apple Watch and I never wear it.
I got mine for free.
Oh,
there you go.
Cute.
My old workplace, they had Vitality Healthcare, and if you signed up within a few months, you got a watch, and if you completed like 10,000 steps a day, you didn't have to pay for it, and so that's just what I did. It's what all of us did in the entire office.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's like an
It's a good incentive
to get us up and active.
I would definitely do that for a free Apple Watch.
Okay, let's leave it there. I need to have a discussion with Lauren about becoming my boss, so we will do that. I just love the sound of it, like Lauren's going to be my boss. I think it's hilarious. Thanks to all of you guys for tuning in, watching, whether it's live or on the replay. Hope you are staying safe and somewhat sane. I don't think anyone who really watches us is completely sane, but you're crazy in the best of ways. Thank you to Danielle and Lauren for their time. You guys stay safe as well.
Thank you to Ron Burgundy, my biggest fan. Thank you so much.
Well, Ron Burgundy is blocked now, so if you want to go and find out who it is, you're going to have to go and find him yourself. I don't like those sorts of comments. I find them deeply, deeply disturbing, and people need to get a life. So, on that rant, we'll sign off, and we will speak to you next week.
Bye.
What's up, guys? It's Adrian again. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember to head over to pageantlaunch.com. Join our launch team for our review site. It's super important to all of us to make sure that the industry is safe, transparent, and fair. So head over to pageantlaunch.com, whack in your email address, and we'll speak to you next time.